Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, today's video is all about convincing your ex that they were dumb to break up with you. Making them understand that they've made a huge mistake and they need to quickly rethink things and take you back before it's too late. Now, of course, you already know that your ex was stupid for breaking up with you. You know that you're meant to be and that you can make things work if you get a second chance at a new, better relationship together. But over the next few minutes, we're going to dive into the psychology of your ex's decision, what they're thinking right now, and how you can convince or show them that they made a big mistake and they need to ask you to get back together. So let's get into it. All right, to begin with, let's clear up a couple of simple and unavoidable facts. Fact number one, right now, your ex thinks that breaking up was the logical, correct decision. So whether they dumped you, out of the blue against your will, or your breakup was a mutual decision that you've now come to regret, or even if you dumped your ex and now you've completely changed your mind and want them back, whatever the case is for you, assuming your ex is not currently interested in getting back together, it's obvious that they have come up with logical, rational reasons that breaking up was the best path forward. Now, this could be for a lot of different reasons. Maybe you just drifted apart over time and the attraction and connection faded. Maybe you did or said something or a number of things that caused them to become angry or upset enough to dump you. Maybe there's some, practical reasons that contributed to the breakup too, like living far apart or having family disapprove of your relationship. But whatever the reasons, it's an unavoidable fact that right now your ex believes that breaking up was the most logical decision. So they think that, they're going to be better off in the long run without you. Now, it's painful to accept this, but it's a simple fact. But don't worry, because shortly we'll talk about how you can change their mind about this. First, though, fact number two, you're not going to be able to sit down with your ex, talk things over, and use words to convince them to take you back. Now, I know most of you watching already know this. I've talked about it in many of my past videos. But the simple truth is, based on my 14 years of experience as a breakup coach, I can tell you for certain that this almost never works. Trying to use logic and reasoning to convince your ex that the breakup was a mistake is just not effective. It simply doesn't work. And to be honest, the more you try to convince your ex to take you back with words, apologizing over and over, trying to explain how things will be different if they'll give you another chance, the less likely it is that you'll actually be able to get that second chance. You simply won't be able to talk your way back into your ex's heart by using reason or logic. And if you try, it'll make matters worse. In fact, number three, if you are going to be able to get your ex to take you back, then it's going to have to be their decision. Your ex needs to decide for themselves that the breakup was a mistake and that the best path forward for them is to get back together. As for how to actually make them change their mind and make them believe that, well, that's what we'll talk about next. So let's discuss how you can make your ex realize that they were stupid to dump you and how to convince them to change their mind about that. So step one is to immediately stop all unattractive, counterproductive behavior. Now, this might seem incredibly obvious, but you would not believe how many of my coaching clients continue to exhibit unattractive behaviors, either knowingly or without realizing it, even after I warn them about the dangers of doing so. Really, if you're going to have any chance of getting back with your ex, you absolutely must avoid doing anything that will further lower their opinion of you. So absolutely no begging, no pleading, no apologizing over and over again. Like we just talked about, you can't use words and logic to talk your ex into taking you back. So, stop trying. Don't beg them for a second chance. Don't promise to change if they'll take you back. And don't apologize again and again, especially if you have nothing to apologize for. And beyond that, take a step back and look at how your behavior is going to be seen by your ex. Are you acting clingy or needy? For example, if you spam your ex with multiple texts in a row, especially if they're not responding, that's going to come across to your ex as desperation and clinginess. Obviously, these are highly unattractive behaviors that help confirm for your ex that they were right to break up with you. And the same thing goes for stalking, pestering, acting jealous. Again, these are highly unattractive, so don't let yourself slip up and do any of these things. It's also important that you hide your emotions as much as possible. We'll talk more about this in a minute, but for now, just know that when you show your ex, or even the world in general, how much you're hurting right now, or how heartbroken and lonely the breakup has you feeling, that is not going to be perceived as attractive by your ex, and it's not going to help you win them back. At best, they may pity you and feel even more guilty about breaking up, but it's not going to make them want you back. So control your emotions and avoid looking heartbroken as much as possible. And that actually ties in nicely with the next step, step 2, which is to continue to live your life. Now, I cannot stress how important this is. Again, a lot of my clients tend to disregard this advice or assume that, it's not important to their end goal of getting their ex back. But I promise you, it's hugely important. What I mean by live your life is simple, really. Even though your breakup probably upended many aspects of your daily life and your routine, you need to power through it and continue to focus on all of the other aspects of your life outside of your relationship and outside of your ex. Many people in your shoes, understandably, find it difficult to focus on things like work, school, friends, hobbies, and so on. And like I said, breakups are a massive shock, and the heartbreak can leave you feeling, like sitting alone at home all day. But that is exactly the opposite to what you should be doing if you're hoping to win your ex back. So show up to work or school every day, continue to give it 100% and work towards your goals. Obviously, it might be a struggle to wake up in the morning and, go to class or go to work, but you have to keep living your daily life as much as possible. You don't want your ex to see how fragile you are emotionally or how much this breakup has thrown your world into disarray. So put on your pretend happy face and stay focused on your work or your school. And equally or even more importantly, it's not time to give up on your friends or your social life or your hobbies. In fact, the very best thing you can do right now is to double down on these things. Be even more social than you were before the breakup. See your friends and family, as much as you possibly can. Make new friends, reconnect with old friends that maybe you lost touch with during your relationship. Just try to keep your social calendar as full as possible, because not only is this going to keep your mind off the breakup, it's also the kind of thing that an attractive, high-value person would do. And your ex will, at some point, notice this and subconsciously be impressed by it, even though they likely won't realize it. And of course, keep going to the gym, keep going to those evening classes, or stay committed to that upcoming vacation, even if your ex is backed out. Basically, try to continue to live a fun, active, and busy life. Now, the psychological reasons behind all of this are complex, but it really all boils down to this. In order for your ex to realize they made a mistake in breaking up, they need to see you as a desirable, high-value romantic partner. Now, I know that sounds totally transactional and not at all romantic, but it's true. The more you seem to be unaffected by the breakup, the more you'll shift how your ex perceives you and your value on a subconscious level. All right, and step 3, give your ex the time and space to miss you. Now, you probably knew this one was coming, and I'm not going to preach to you, the importance of no contact here, because you've probably heard it all before. But I simply cannot leave this one out because it's fundamentally crucial if you want your ex to realize that they've made a mistake in letting you walk out of their life. Look, if you continue to be part of your ex's life after the breakup, whether it's just a one-off text message every few days or seeing them in person all the time, it's going to prevent them from missing you. It's going to help them slowly learn to adapt to life without you. And it's not going to generate the sense of urgency and the fear of loss that your ex must feel in order to realize that they were stupid to break up with you. So I'll repeat it once more. Give your ex plenty of space, especially in the first 6 weeks or so after breaking up. Literally do whatever you can to avoid talking to your ex as much as you can without being overly obvious about it. So limit contact to essential stuff only. I always recommend at least a few weeks of radio silence. Around a month tends to be the sweet spot for the average breakup. But really, the exact length of your no contact period is less important than how committed you are to it. Remember, you need to avoid allowing your ex to have the best of both worlds. The more you continue to allow them into your life, allow them access to you, and allow them to enjoy your company or slowly wean themselves off you in your relationship, the less likely they're going to suffer emotionally from the breakup, and the less they're going to miss you. If they don't miss you, they won't be forced to question the decision to break up, and they won't feel any urgency or fear that you might move on before they're ready to truly, permanently commit to life without you. And step 4 is start dating other people, or at the very least, hang out with the opposite sex. So it is as simple as this. If your ex sees other people want to date you, or even if they just see that other members of the opposite sex want to be around you and hang out with you, they will feel truly powerless to resist, feeling slightly jealous. And they'll be forced to question whether, given how desirable you seem to be to other people, they made a mistake in letting you walk away. There's this concept in psychology called pre-selection that maybe you've heard about. It's basically the tendency for all humans, men and women, to be more attracted to people who others find to be attractive and desirable. So in other words, if I'm sitting here and there's 3 gorgeous women that are fighting over me, then other women will assume that I'm a great catch, and they'll tend to find me more attractive as well. So basically, the more you're pursued and desired by the opposite sex, the more your ex will feel that same attraction themselves. So by going on a few dates, or even just hanging out with your friends of the opposite sex, you're subtly shifting your ex's subconscious perception of you as a romantic partner. You're making yourself look more valuable and more desirable just by dating new people. And as I always say when I talk about this stuff, I know that you don't feel like dating other people right now. And I know most of you watching are focused exclusively on getting your ex back. But please be open to the idea that you may have to act like you're moving on, that you're starting to date new people in order to get your ex to change their mind and take you back. All right, and step 5 is pay close attention to how you interact with your ex. So the time will come, and for some of you, maybe you've already given your ex plenty of time and space. So you might be at this point already where you're going to start to reconnect with your ex, talk to them more frequently, and hopefully even see them again in person. Now, when you are talking with your ex again, whether it's by text or phone or hanging out in person, you really need to be purposeful and careful in how you come across to your ex in any of these interactions. So here are a few keys to ensuring that anytime you message your ex or see them in person, it actually builds natural, organic attraction and makes them rethink the breakup. So firstly, stay positive. Never, ever, ever be negative around your ex. Don't criticize other people or talk shit about others to your ex. Don't be too down or sad or stoic. Always be upbeat and positive and friendly. As I like to suggest to my coaching clients, you want every interaction with your ex, no matter how small or unimportant, to be enjoyable for them. So try to make your ex smile and laugh any chance you get, and stay far away from any kind of heavier, serious topics, including anything to do with your relationship or the breakup. And secondly, stay cool. Your ex might say something that sounds very positive, like, I miss you, or I wish you were here. They might give you the hot and cold treatment, but no matter what, always keep a level head and avoid reacting too excitedly. Pretend you're James Bond and nothing phases you or gets a rise out of you, be it positive or negative. Just act cool and never get too excited or downbeat. And thirdly, be confident. Remember, you and your ex have a history together. This person once fell in love with you and they saw all your best attributes and wanted to spend much of their time with you. So don't forget that. Be confident in yourself anytime you're talking with your ex. Don't brag or be cocky. Just be confident in your own value and self-worth. Subtly hint at how well things are going for you since the breakup, and make your ex feel a bit of FOMO. Impress them by casually, sharing a few details about positive things that have happened to you since the last time you talked. Fourth, create mystery and intrigue. There's no need to share every detail about everything with your ex. In fact, it's a good idea to strategically leave out some of the details about what you've been up to, who you're hanging out with, what your plans are for the week or the summer or whatever. Just leave them hanging when the opportunity presents itself. So a good example of this, if your ex asks what you're doing next weekend, say something like, oh, I'm going to the music festival on Saturday, and then on Sunday night, I've got plans to see that new Marvel movie with a friend. And then, don't mention who the friend is or what their relationship is to you. Again, just leave your ex wondering about some things, let their brain wander a little bit, and try to fill in the blanks. And fifth, don't be too available. Always try to leave your ex wanting more, or at least, whenever possible. So be the one to end conversations. Don't always jump and say yes every time your ex suggests hanging out. Don't, rearrange your schedule just to accommodate your ex. Just generally, don't be a pushover, and make sure that your ex sees and knows that you have a lot more going on in life than just them. So leave your ex on red every now and then, and feel free to wait an hour or two or even a day before you respond to their texts. And finally, flirt and build sexual tension. This is so crucial when you reach the point where you're seeing your ex in person and you're having regular hangouts. It doesn't matter if it's just the two of you or you're hanging out with a group of friends. Anytime the opportunity presents itself, jump at the chance to do some subtle flirting and build some sexual tension with your ex. Now, I just recently made a video on how to date your ex again, which includes 16 tips on flirting with your ex, which I'll link to here in the pop-up and in the description below so you can watch that next. And now on to step 6. Get ongoing support from an experienced breakup coach. To be honest, if you do everything we've already discussed in this video so far, then you are setting yourself up for success. But obviously, there's no way that I can cover every possible what-if scenario that you might face here in a 15-minute video, which is why I encourage you to consider signing up for my very affordable one-on-one coaching program to get my personal support and guidance as you work, on changing your ex's mind and winning them back. So to begin working with me today, just go to breakupbrad.com/coaching, where you'll see all the details as well as my current availability. I'll of course throw that link in the description below as well. All right, I'm glad you're still here, you're still watching, but I also realize that at this point, you might feel like we've strayed far from the original topic of this video, which of course is all about convincing your ex that they were stupid for breaking up with you. However, the truth is, everything I've talked about so far is how you help change your ex's mind about you and your potential future together as a couple. These are all the things that you need to do in order to make your ex realize how dumb it was to dump you and how silly they're being by not reversing their decision and asking you to get back together. So the key now is to actually go out there and execute on all of these things that we've covered. Actually, commit to the process and working slowly but surely towards changing your ex's mind and getting them to take you back someday in the very near future. Thanks for watching. Please check the links in the description to some of my previous videos on important related topics. I recommend you watch those next. And don't forget to please like and subscribe. I sincerely appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys in the comments below and see you next time. Good luck and bye for now.